Okay, making furniture. I got these two pieces, not rocket science here, just the cheapo stock miter gauge here with a couple of drywall screws holding a scrap piece of trim and another scrap piece of trim clamped with another scrap piece of trim. It's a vintage, old, it's Menards if you're familiar with the chain. So I've got a stop block here, and what I wanted to do was make these two pieces the same length. So I ran them through, cut them off, and they should be pretty close to the same. There might even be, I can feel a little bit of difference, and that could be just from the wiggle in the miter bar, although it could be that my stop block is crooked. Let's see. Let's wait till make that flush. That feels flush, and that feels flush. So close enough. I'm going to use my micro jig taper cutter. I've used this in another video. And then I have my vintage. All YouTubers use these. It's the woody ones. Let's see. I did something about reading the wood. So as you can see, the grain is kind of going this way. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut these into tapers. I'm going to have a wide part up there, and I'm going to have a narrow part down here. And the grain is going this way, so that's where the strength is. And then the grain is going this way. So I'm going to mark it in that direction. And then with this guy, yeah, you can see the lines running kind of like that and kind of like that. So again, the grain's going to be, the marks are going to be that way. And then I have to see if this is long enough to do what I want it to do. So the story on these black walnut things is my kid gave me a design. It's been like maybe a couple of years, a year. And so there's going to be some people out there on Facebook that may recognize this if I post the picture. But it's overdue. So it's black walnut time. It's warmed up, so now I can use the table saw outside so the dust can blow away and hopefully not kill the dog and the plants. So I've got 1 inch off here from the edge. I'm hoping that's going to be enough. I think I can put I'm going to use dominoes for all the haters out there. So one here and one there at the top for strength. And then I need to mark this other side. So that's a little carpenter's wiggle. You put a little V on there, and so you don't get mixed up with a mineral mark and cut in the wrong place. So anyways, that is done. I need to figure out if I can cut this on the table saw or if it needs to go on the band saw for that really long cut. All right, so I am extending, or I'm marking my line. Not really extending it because there's no line yet. Let's see. So it's going to be one leg. It's going to be a second leg right there. So I need to figure out how many degrees this is, and then I need to cut it here if I can, and on the bandsaw if I can't, or with a jigsaw. I don't know. We'll figure it out. I had to summon the micro jig wizard because the angle jig wasn't long enough, and so I'm going to use just a floating dovetailed. You can see where I messed it up over there. There's just kind of one that just the bit was falling out. But anyways, what I'm going to do is I'm going to line this up, but I'm going to use the clamps, and I've done this in the past. It works really, really well. And so the wizard is going to help guide me off camera, but rest assured, I'm in good hands with the micro jig wizard. Okay, so hopefully I can figure this out in real time. What I want to do is get these up on top of the wood. If you never use this system, it's super clever. It replaces T-track. It's better than T-track. Actually, I would slide this out. I just want to make sure I don't get the foot out where I can cut it with the saw. And so I'm going to I'm going to move this over a little bit. And then I'm going to eyeball my line here. And that's, I'll push it out just a teeny tiny bit. So I'm going to make sure this part's, the wood, the sled is up against the fence. I'm going to tighten this up a little bit. And then I'm actually just going to set it over here. And then I'm going to pivot the piece until it's where I want the cut to exit. And I'm just going to check and make sure that the feet can't get run over. What's a little bit of a bummer is I have a block that I use to set the cut. Let's see, I'm going to have to loosen this up and pivot it. Too tight. So it should exit. Actually, I think I need to move both at the same time, but let's see if that's enough. Pretty close. So yeah, last thing I'm going to do is I'm going to pinch this. I'm going to slide this back just a hair, make sure it doesn't get hit by the blade. And then the nice thing is I can send it through. I got room, should be in the right place here. And I should be, when it exits, should be in good shape there. So I do have some that have a block. I have a big sled. I don't know where it is. Maybe I hung it up somewhere and lost it. But I have a sled, and what it has is it has a stop here, and then there's an adjustable guide here. But you can cut these. You just get a router bit with a dovetail, make these, and you just cut them into any piece of MDF or plywood, and then you can make tracks any way you want them to go. And this is where it really excels, is making these really random angles and cuts. So let's do it before I run out of light. That was pretty good. Okay, as long as I'm cooking, I am going to put a 5-degree angle on the tops and bottoms of these walnut legs and see how I feel about that. I'm going to do one real quick here and see how I like it.